My name is Isabel. I'm a digital producer and I make $78,000 a year working at NBC. All of their primetime shows. This Is Us, The Good Place, New Amsterdam, a ton of reality shows like The Titan Games, The Voice, America's Got Talent. I work on The Tonight Show and like SNL sometimes.
And what is a digital producer?
I get to pick like what videos that we're gonna like feature. So I'm always talking with the creative teams, like, what have you guys made? So all of these things, like right here, all of the stuff that it says there, which videos it links to, that's actually stuff that I did like 2 days ago. Like on Friday, I actually got to write all of these things. And then I like sent them to other people like, hey, what do you think? And then they would write back like, oh, I like this, let's use it. And so I actually got to talk with all of the teams that work on shows like The Blacklist, Law and Order. I kind of told them, you know, all right, we've got your new stuff. This is what we're going to do with it. So I'm like technically part of the primetime TV shows, but one of the things that they have me do is take all of the stuff from the late night shows and choose which clips get to be like featured on NBC.com. So I always get to like pick which ones are up here. And I mean, honestly, I just always pick my favorite ones.
That's what we're doing commercials. That's what we're doing when you write a script with feature films. It's all about attention, eyeballs. You've got a job where you get to do that every day. Throughout the entire day, you're making those kind of decisions. I mean, that is money.
There's a reason they pay me what they do. The longer that I'm there, I get to increase my salary like every single year. And then the crazy part is whenever I decide to like move to Disney, I'll be able to say like, I am worth this much, like you should pay me this much. And it's not going to be something where they say like, oh, well, we don't know. It'll be, oh, you have that experience. Heck yes, we'll pay you whatever you wanted. It's going to be my 4th year in Friends and Film in July. When I graduated, I was really frustrated. I didn't have a job. I didn't have any job offers. I was applying for everything I could find, like everything on like major networks. I was looking at the theaters, like just trying to find something to do. And I literally got nothing, like 100% nothing. My problem was that I had no family or friends in the industry. I didn't know a single person who worked in film or television. My parents didn't, my friends didn't. I actually happened to stumble upon Friends in Film just a few months after I graduated college. It makes sense. I like how Janet is wrapping this all up together. I like the idea of kind of having someone to help me along a bit as I'm floating out here in confusion. After I found Friends in Film, I actually started following the modules like very carefully. I would do all of the calls, make sure that I could see Janet, see everybody, ask a bunch of questions. I ended up moving kind of quickly, and part of it is, you know, I live in New York City, so there's a lot happening here. I actually started working with a production crew that made stuff for CNN. I remember the night that they called me, and I was like a little bit panicking. And I actually reached out to Janet and I was like, what do I do? I have some experience, but like, what do I do? And she kind of helped me figure out the talking points that I should focus on. And it worked really well. I mean, they put me on their set maybe 3 months before I was a college grad that had no idea what to do.
The get on shoots method, where you start reaching out to people and you started getting all these shoots and getting experience and getting your hands on the equipment. It led you to CNN, but how?
I actually happened to see it on a Facebook group for production assistants. I used the Friends in Film method to really structure my resume to make the most of the experience that I did have.
And she said, hey, I'm gonna apply for this. I'm gonna go for it. Send my resume, send that nice little short email, not a cover letter, email.
Hello, I saw your posting on Facebook. It seems like a really interesting gig and I'd love to be involved. I've attached my resume so you can see a bit more about how I've worked on sets and my current experience, but I'd love to get the chance to talk to you and learn a bit more about what the gig is, and I'd love to hear from you soon.
You might think like, yeah, but you're not saying that much to them. You're not convincing them. That's right. That's what's convincing them.
I have people from the alumni groups of my college like reaching out to me, like, how do I get started? What do I do? And
Yeah.
I actually directed her to Friends in Film. I was like, dude, like, as soon as you graduate, just put your eyes on this, because it worked for me, and I think it would easily work for other people too.
Yeah, it's just so step by step.
The group at CNN also sometimes worked for Netflix. So they pulled me on to some Netflix documentaries.
So you were not working directly for CNN, but the production company that's producing stuff for CNN.
Yeah.
Okay, this is good information.
And the cool part, they were actually based in LA. So anytime they came to New York, they started calling me first. I was like their New York PA. I feel like we're all like buddies, and I love that I'm the person that they come to when they come to New York.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is how it gets. This is how it feels. You are all buddies.
I was working on this indie film with this DP, this director of photography, and he liked working with me so much that his next project, he wanted me as his first AC. And I was like, well, I don't really know how to use that camera that you're using. And he's like, oh, no worries. I'll come over to you and I will teach you how to use it before the shoot happens. He literally brought his whole fancy camera. We hung out at a coffee shop and he just showed me how to use everything. We practiced for a while. And so when we actually started the shoot, I was super confident, like, heck yes, I know what I'm doing. And even when I had questions, he was like, oh, no worries. Here, I'll show you again. It's totally fine. He had already liked me as a person, as someone that he wanted to work with. He didn't care that I hadn't memorized how to use this fancy camera. He knew that, like, oh, she'll pick it up quickly. It'll be fine. I actually used my on-set experience to get me my first role at AMC Networks, which are the people that made Mad Men, Breaking Bad, The Walking Dead. I had actually asked them a while later, like, you know, why did you, of all the people that you could possibly pick, like, why did you pick me? I'm curious. They actually said, the reason we brought you in is because you had that on-set experience. We knew that you understood the nitty-gritty of TV and movies. The crazy part for me was, when I got the interview at AMC Networks, they brought me in. I interviewed with 3 people, and within an hour after leaving the building, they called me and offered me the job. They had been interviewing people for like 3 weeks, and they were getting really frustrated because they hadn't found someone that they wanted. And they literally called me the same day because they knew that I had the sort of experience that they were actually looking for, and they knew that I could use that experience to be an even better employee, and I could be even better at the position than if I had just been, you know, interning for like years and years and years, or even if I was a production assistant on set for years and years and years. When you start moving forward by using the Friends in Film methods, you're gaining so much experience and doing so many interesting things that when someone starts looking at you for a new position, they pick you because they know that you've got that full, like, well-rounded experience. They know that you understand all the little bits and pieces that go into making a movie. So they pick you because they know that not only can you do your job well, but you can handle any problems that come up. You can handle any new projects that they have to all of a sudden take on. They're like, oh, I know who to give it to. I'll give it to you because you know how to do it.
Wow. Really, you make the relationships and then people teach you. Like, they are your film school, so you don't have to get into debt with it.
They start paying you to go to film school.
Exactly. They pay you to go to film school, yes. Now, if you already went to film school, like, you know, you have a film degree too, then you just, what you need to do is just work in the film industry.
Friends in Film gives you a way to break into the industry that sometimes seems like impossible. Whether you have a film degree or you just like movies or TV, but you know that you want to start making them, Friends in Film helps you find that way to actually achieve something like that, you know, and it helps you get into the right mind space so that you start thinking of it as like, yes, I'm going to work in the industry. It's totally achievable. Whereas sometimes when you graduate school with like from film school, or like me with a film degree, it can seem so closed off that with Friends in Film, all of a sudden it was, oh, heck no, it's totally open. Really, you can go from absolutely zero film stuff to totally, all I get paid to do is make TV, make videos.